ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to our 19th session and the second class about verbs. Alhamdulillah, we introduced verbs in the last class, and we also spoke about the past tense verbs, the Madi verb. Basically, we looked at the scales, and we're going to do a quick review of the Madi scales, inshallah, so it refreshes the concept for you. For today, what are we going to do? Well, number one, I'm going to do two surahs with you. One is Surah An-Nas, and the other one is Surah Al-Kafirun. Surah An-Nas will be to show you the application of Madi verbs, and these are surahs that everybody has them memorized, so you build vocabulary, right? And when you recite them in the Quran, in your salah, you also are able to relate to the meanings of the verses, inshallah, that way. So inshallah, we'll do that. And the other thing that we are going to do, which I'm really excited about, is that we are going to introduce dictionary today. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to use dictionary, and you will realize that there was no reason for you to become overwhelmed or stressed over like, oh, how am I going to find all of this? Everything is there in the dictionary. I'm not going to teach you everything about the dictionary today, but as we go along, I'm going to introduce bits, and you will see today's is like the easiest thing ever, right? So we have Surah An-Nas that's going to do the application of the Madi verbs, right? Then we have the present tense that we're going to introduce today, mudare, the scales, right? And then we're going to learn dictionary, okay, how to use dictionary, particularly how to find the Madi verb in the dictionary, looking up the roots, how to find the Madi, and then how to find the mudare, right? Its equivalent mudare, and therefore the meaning. And then finally, we are going to apply mudare and Madi together in Surah Al-Kafirun, inshallah. All right, so let's get started really quickly. Let's do a quick review of the Madi chart that we covered last week. So I told you that when you have the Madi chart, and it's up on your screen, right? When you have the Madi chart, you have to imagine that behind each Madi scale that you see is a pronoun. There's a pronoun sitting underneath each of those Madi scales, right? And those pronouns are the doers, because verbs, they need a doer. It's an action, right? Cannot happen without a doer. And the doer is huwa or huma or hum, based on where the scale sits on the chart, right? So we did that really quickly. Fa'ala is huwa, right? So fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna, fa'alna. When I take out Surah An-Nas, we're going to look at verbs like khalaqa, right? Hasada. So I'm going to do the chart for khalaqa for you, all right? You have khalaqa, khalaqa, khalaqu, khalaqat, khalaqata, khalaqna, khalaqta, khalaqtuma, khalaqtum, khalaqti, khalaqtuma, khalaqtunna, khalaqtu, khalaqna, khalaqna, right? And then you have, let me put up this for you, okay? So you see Surah Falaq, which is up on your screen, right? So I just did the khalaqa chart for you. The next one, this was the khalaqa chart. Let me start my writing. Okay, this is khalaqa chart. The other one is waqaba, right? How will waqaba sound on the Madi chart? Waqaba, waqaba, waqabu, waqabat, waqabata, waqabna, waqabta, waqabtuma, waqabtum, waqabti, waqabtuma, waqabtunna, waqabtu, waqabna, waqabna, right? And then we have the next ayah, which is the fourth ayah. Here there is no verb. In the fifth ayah, we have hasada, right? So it is hasada, hasada, hasadu, hasadat, hasadata, hasadna, hasadta, hasadtuma, hasadtum, hasadti, hasadtuma, hasadtunna, hasadtu, hasadna, hasadna, right? So that's how the chart flows. Let's look at it quickly. Now, what I'm really most excited about is Whoever has been following this right from the beginning, you look at the line, right? You look at each and every verse and you know what each and every word is in terms of its type. Remember we said the type is only three. One is noun, one is verb, and one is particle, right? So once you have identified what kind of a word it is, then it is for you to go along with the properties of that word and do the further steps, right? So here, if you see the first one, okay, we have قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Now this one, what I'll tell you is it's a verb, all right? Remember I told you in the last class that there are various forms of verbs that we are going to learn. In terms of like the base forms, right? We have the madi, we have the mudare, and then we have the command form, right? These three. And these three forms will basically be going through each and every other family that we are going to be learning about, all right? Right now we're just learning about the first family, which is your mujarrad family. So qul, yes, you have not learned, but this is your verb. You'll learn next week, inshallah, right? This is amr, okay? It's called command verb, okay? Command verb. A'udhu, this is your mudare, which you're going to learn today, all right? Bi rabbil falaq. Bi is jar, so this by default becomes majroor, and then we see rabbil falaqi, this becomes your idafa construction, right? So say, I seek refuge with the Rabb of the skies, falaq, right? Next we have falaq. Basically, falaqa basically means to rip open, okay, or to split something. That's basically what falaq means. So it's as if like the sun rays, they rip through the darkness of the sky. So that's why it's called falaq. All right. Next, we have min sharri ma khalaq. So min is, we know it's jar. When we have jar, the other one has to be majroor, okay? Min shar. So jar, majroor, sharri ma. This is your special idafa construction, okay, where your mudaf ilay, remember when we wrapped up nouns, we said that mudaf ilay can be your ism mawsul. So this is your ism mawsul relative pronoun, evil of that which, right? Okay, and then, so from the evil of that which, khalaqa means to create. Who did the creation, right? The verb khalaqa, it sits on the scale, it sits on the chart where? Khalaqa, and you lift the veil, who's sitting? Huwa. So here we are going to translate, he created. Right? It's referring to all the creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Everything we know in creation has the potential to, has the potential for evil, right? Has the potential to cause harm. So that's where we were seeking protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of everything, from creation. And every creation, like we said, has the potential to harm or cause harm, right? So here, this one's doer, or the hidden pronoun is huwa, which means he. Now if I go to my dictionary, what will it mean? He created. Remember we did the chart on the start of the class? So khalaqa, he created. Khalaqa will be they both created. Khalaqu will be they all created. So here it is khalaqa, that's why I'm translating as he created. Okay, moving along. Wa min sharri ghasiqin, same construction, similar to this one, min sharri ma, right? See, this one is, wa is simply a particle, okay, which means and, okay. Min sharri, this is jar, and this becomes your majroor, okay. Sharri ghasiqin becomes your idafa. This entire thing becomes the idafa, all right. This we've done even before. Ida is particle, translated as when, okay. And then waqaba. Waqaba basically means to become dark, right? And it's referring to the night over here. So ghasiq, the evil of the ghasiq. Ghasiq is what? Night, okay. Evil, I'm sorry, ghasiq is night, and waqaba, when it darkens. So again, can you guess who the doer of this one is? When it darkens. So when you translate, you're basically able to get a sense, and it's all about sense, right? It's all about understanding the context in which the ayah has been revealed. So if I translate now, I will say, from the evil of the night, okay, from the evil of the night, when it darkens. I'm not going to say he darkens now. It does not make sense, right? So it darkens. And what is the it referring to? The it, huwa in Arabic, remember, huwa refers to both he and it, right? In English, we have it as he and it, but in Arabic, it's the same. So when we have, when it darkens, what is that it? and that will tell you who the doer is. The it is referring, or it's going back to ghasiq, the night. So the literal translation of this one will be, and from the evil of the night when it darkens. So waqaba, you want to keep this meaning in mind, that it is so dark that you're barely able to see. Like, if you fall in a ditch and then you're not, it's so dark in there that you're not able to see your surroundings. So that's the kind of darkness we're referring to. And when we are seeking protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the evil of that time, the evil of that night, right? And then we have وَمِن شَرٍ نَفَّاسَاتِ, same construction as the previous ones, like in 2 and 3. وَمِن شَرِّ مَا, right? وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ. Good practice there, right? So you have jar, okay, and this is your idafa construction, which will be your default majroor, because idafa cannot be separated, right? Mudaf and mudaf ilayh, they cannot be separated. And how do I know this is the idafa? Simple. Number one, translation has to make sense. There is of, it's showing possession. And the other thing is, this is a light noun, okay? Shari, you can see it, sorry. Let me see, okay. Shari is a light noun, right? There is no alif lam, there is no tanween, and then it is followed by a noun that has a kasra ending, okay? So that basically tells me this is only idafa. This can be idafa. It cannot be anything else. So keep that in mind, okay? And from the evil of the ones, nafasat are the magicians basically. Nafasa, okay? Nafasa, again, this is time for you to build vocabulary, so write down these meanings. And if you remember, I told you, I gave you the tip. I encourage everyone to write these meanings down on your mushaf, because that's like the best way to make sure of your review. You may not go back to your notes, but you will definitely go back to the Quran to recite, right? So make sure that you're writing there. Whenever you get to it, your subconsciously your sense for review will kick in, and without any effort, you will get work done. So nafasat, what is the root letter? It is noon, fa, and tha. It is basically to blow when spit comes out. That's basically what nafatha means, all right? To blow when spit comes out, right? So from the evil of the ones who do magic. This is referring to magic. Fil uqad. And so they're blowing into uqad. Uqad is what? Knots. Okay? Into the knots. And this is what? Jar majroor. Okay? Fi. Fi is jar. Next word has to be majroor. Okay? So from the evil of the ones who blow, literal translation, who blow into the knot. Okay? And then we have the last one, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. We're seeking refuge from 4 things in this surah, right? وَمِن شَرِّ, same construction, so much practice, right? By now you should be pro at it. This is jar, okay? This is jar, and then this one is majroor, and the majroor is actually an idafa construction, okay? So just in this surah, you see, you have 2 looks. This jar majroor that you see over here, fil uqad, right? This is jar, and this is just one word. Majroor is one word. But jar majroor can also be jar, and then majroor can be a fragment. It can be a phrase, and that's basically what we're seeing in the surah, inshallah. And from the evil of the jealous person, of the one who envies, right? So from the evil of the jealous person, when hasada is what? To be envious. When he is envious. Where did I get my he from? He. Okay, hasada, if I go to the dictionary, it means to be envious. You cannot see it here. Okay, it means to be envious, right? Now, and I'm translating it as, and from the evil of the jealous person when he envies. Where am I getting my he from? Hasada sits on top, sits where fa'ala sits on the chart, and if I lift the veil where fa'ala sits, who's sitting there? Huwa. Okay? So from the evil of the jealous person when he is envious, right? Really feel it for the person who has jealousy. We're not going to get too much into it, but just, aside from the fact that there is a hadith where Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions, he lists the 3 person whose du'as are not accepted or never answered, where, the jealous person, the person who has a ghil and hasad in his heart, jealousy in his heart, he is one of those people. And the other sad reality of the existence of such a person is that this person doesn't get the chance to enjoy his life. Why? Because he's constantly looking at somebody else's life. He's preoccupied with somebody else's life. So subhanAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this ill. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this evil. All right, so that is Surah An-Nas. All right, and we just did the application of all of the Madi verbs, and you see that it was the first one. So you will see in the Quran, the most common form that is used, it's the first one. Okay, it's usually the fa'ala form, and then you will see the next common one. I mean, there are all the other forms, but commonly you're going to see the first one, okay, which has the doer, the pronoun huwa, and then you will see fa'alu, the third one, the third person male plural. That is also very commonly repeated. Kafaru, ya ayyuhalladhina kafaru, right? Kafaru is what? Kafaru, fa'alu, sounds like fa'alu. So you see that repeated multiple times. All right, great. Now let's move on to our lesson for today. Okay, there you go. I don't know why it's coming darker on the screen, but I hope your notes are up in front of you and you're able to see. I put light blue on the screen. It's coming up as dark blue. But what this is basically your Madi chart. Okay. Last week we learned, mudare chart. Last week we learned the Madi chart. Nothing different. Okay. The concept is the same. The only thing is Madi was he did, and mudare is he is doing or he does, right? And the same form is applied to future tense also with the seen or the sofa. We'll talk about that later, but this is it, okay? So these are, when you get the Madi chart, all right, that Madi chart, that will form the foundation for all the families that you're going to learn, okay? And similarly, when you learn this mudare chart with slight variations, this is going to form the foundation for all the mudare that you're going to learn. So you just have to work hard here. That's it. And everything else in your sleep, you're going to be able to get it, inshallah. Okay. So if you remember, I'm going to pull up the Madi again just to help you understand the difference between the two. And it's so easy. If you look at the Madi chart, right, you see I have highlighted only yellow, right? Now look at the mudare chart. When you see the mudare chart, there is a yellow highlight, and then on the screen it is showing as a dark blue highlight, right? The yellow highlight is the ending, of course, and the dark blue highlight is the beginning, right? I'm going to take you back to the Madi one again. So in the Madi, it's only the ending. What is the difference here? What is the difference that you note? Whenever you look at a word, right? This is very important, this step, and it's there in your note, by the way. Whenever you look at a word, first thing you have to ask yourself what kind of a word it is, right? And this thought process, this elimination process is key to making this understanding easy for you, okay? You look at a word and you ask yourself, what kind of a word is this? If you think it is noun, then you just switch your brain to the noun mode, and then you apply everything that you have learned about nouns to the word, right? But if you have identified it as a verb, okay? If you have identified this as a verb, then your brain has to be shifted to the verb mode. And the first question you're going to ask yourself is it Madi or is it mudare? Okay, so first, what kind of a word is it? Second, if it's a verb, right, is it Madi or mudare? This is there on page 3 of your packet, okay, these steps. Is it Madi or mudare? Now, if you've how do you identify Madi and mudare? Madi is identified by its endings. Okay, that's why you see all the yellow there. Whereas mudare is identified with both ending and beginning. And the beginning, I'll give you an acronym. It's super easy. Okay, and it's there on your packet. Here right at the bottom. I don't know if you are able to, on screen probably it's looking darker, but here. I know not to use blue anymore. Oh man, that is so dark. I don't know why it has come like that. So it is basically, I'm going to write it for you. Okay? Here. just to make sure. Atain. This is what it is, okay? Atain. This is what I have written. You don't need to actually punctuate. Let me get rid of it, okay? Hamza, ta, ya, noon. These are all the beginnings of mudare, okay? All your mudare verbs will either begin with a hamza, or it will begin with a ta, or it will begin with a ya, or it will begin with a noon. And that's basically what I'm trying to show you in the chart as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write it here, since on the screen you're not able to see, okay? So this is basically ya, okay? This is also ya, this is also ya, this is ta, okay? This is ta, alright? And this is ya, okay? Then I have again ta, alright? Ta here, ta fatha, and then ta fatha, ta fatha, ta fatha, right? And then I have hamza fatha, noon fatha, noon fatha. Okay, perfect. All right, I got everything. I covered everything. Yay, good. Alhamdulillah. All right, so these are your beginnings. Okay, mudare. If you see a word in the Quran, okay, most of the times, you can say 99% of the times, unless, so there are exceptions, right? Sometimes ya is simply the spelling of the word, okay? It's part of the spelling of the word, okay? Like for example, we know S at the end is for plural. S in English at the end is for plural. But sometimes S is just part of the spelling. It does not mean that it is, it's a plural word, right? So this is basically how you make the distinction. When you see all the words in the Quran, they begin with hamza, ta, ya, and noon. These are your mudare verbs, okay? It can have a fatha, it can have a dhamma, it does not matter. Amanu, okay? That one, that's an exception, what I was telling you about. In amanu, hamza is part of the spelling, okay? It's not part of the, it's not part of atain here. So the acronym, okay, to tell you that a word is mudare will be atain. Hamza, ta, ya, noon. And the reason I put it in that format is hamza is for first person, okay? Hamza is for first person. Ta is for second person. There's there's an exception there. It goes into the third person also, but majority it's for the second person. And ya is for the third person, okay? And then noon, again, you come back to first person. So first person, hamza, ta, ya, noon. Again, hamza, ta, ya, noon, right? First person, second person, third person, back to first person, which is noon. All right, so if you see these beginnings, the beginnings tell you, what do the beginnings tell you of mudare? The beginning tells you whether it's a he, whether it's a she, whether it's a you, whether it's a I, whether it's a we. That's basically what the beginning is telling you. All right, in your madi, okay, let me take you back to the chart again. In madi, everything, all the information we got from the ending. All right, nothing from the beginning, okay? It was all from the ending. So the ending told me what person it was, right? This one is third person, okay? Then it told me what the number was, singular, dual, or plural. So I know that this is singular, okay? And then, of course, it also tells me whether it's madi or mudare, because there's no beginning over here. Definitely, atain is not there, right? If atain is not there, it is madi. Okay, but keep in mind there are exceptions, because then there are those words where, you know, hamza, ta, ya, and noon are simply part of the spelling. Okay, all right. Okay, so here we have we see the chart, right? I'm going to read the chart for you. Yaf'alu. So the third, this one is third person. Okay, third person. Then I have, you cannot see it. Okay. Here. Can you see it now? Okay, this one is third person. Okay, so this is third person. All right. And then we have here, this is second person. Okay, these two here, second person. Okay, this is second person. This is second person male. This is second person female. And then finally, we have first person. Okay? This is first person, singular, male, female, right? And this is singular. This column is singular. This column is dual. And this column is plural. Here. You see it? This column is plural. Okay? So that's basically your mudare chart. Now let me quickly read it for you. Okay? This is male and then this is female. Okay? Let me read it quickly for you. So you have yaf'alu, all right? Yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, okay? Then you have taf'alu, taf'alani, yaf'alna. Then you have taf'alu again, taf'alani, taf'aluna, okay? Taf'alina, taf'alani, taf'alna. And then af'alu, naf'alu, naf'alu. Okay? Again, let's do it. Yaf'alu, yaf'alani. Okay, it's all about memorization. Yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, yashkuruna, yash'uruna, yakfuruna, ya'lamuna. You see where it's all coming from, right? This is third person. So common in the Quran, right? So again, yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna. Third person, male. Taf'alu, this is an exception. Ta usually belongs to second person. All of second person, you're going to see it begins with ta. But there's an exception in the third person. Third person singular female and third person dual female. They're the exceptions, okay? They're the exceptions. And how will you know? You will know it from context, whether it's a he or a you or a she or a they. You'll find that. You'll figure that out, okay? So, taf'alu, all right? Then taf'alani, she, they both, female. And then yaf'alna, they all female. Okay, so this is your third person, male and female. Clear? And same, if you lift the veil of yaf'alu, you see huwa sitting underneath there. If you lift the veil of yaf'alani, you see huma sitting underneath there. If you lift the veil of yaf'aluna, you see hum sitting underneath there. Taf'alu, hiya. Taf'alani, huma, female. And then yaf'alna, hunna. Okay, so you have to know, like your brain, if it's synced up with the chart, right? The chart of male and female, you just have to sync those up and it's perfect. Okay, all right. So that's third person. And then we come to all the verbs that begin with ta. If they begin with ta, it's second person. Okay, second person, male and female, you have to determine that. Taf'alu, the first line is male, of course. Taf'alu, taf'alani, taf'aluna, takfuruna, ta'lamuna, takdhibuna, right? So many times in the Quran it is mentioned ta'buduna, right? We'll see that in Kafirun, inshallah. So, and then we have taf'alina, that's your female, second person, singular, okay? Taf'alina, taf'alani, taf'alna. Similar to, look at this. I want to highlight this, okay? So if you look at yaf'alna, third person female, right? And then if you look at second person female, the difference is what? The difference is between a ya and a ta. That's how subtle the difference is, okay? The ya makes it third person, yani them, they, right? And the ta makes it second person, meaning you all female, okay? All right. Then we have the last line, which is first person, okay? First person is what? Af'alu. Remember in Surah An-Nas, what did I say today? Qul a'udhu. A'udhu begins with Hamza. What is it? Mudare. And what person is it? Begins with Hamza. So, atain, Hamza, first person. This is atain. Hamza, ta, ya, noon. So you can write Hamza here, you can write ta here, you can write ya here, you can write noon here, right? So whenever you see Hamza, you know this is your first person, okay? This is your second person. This is your third person. And then you come back to first person. So, a'udhu, ashkuru, right? An'amtu, when it begins with Hamza and it looks like a verb, yani it plugs into the chart, right? It plugs into the mudare chart, then you know that it is it's a sign for first person, okay? So, af'alu, right? I do, then, or I am doing. Naf'alu, we both are doing. Naf'alu, we all are doing. How will you distinguish between dual and plural? Context. Okay? So I'm gonna say the chart right from the beginning again. Okay? Yaf'alu, I'm gonna go slow, I promise. Yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna. Taf'alu, taf'alani, yaf'alna. Taf'alu, taf'alani, taf'aluna. Taf'alina, taf'alani, taf'alna. أفعل نفعل نفعل. Okay, first two lines third person, second two lines second person, and the last line first person. Okay, each of the two lines, the first one is male, second one is female, right? Male, female, and the first person, it applies to both male and female. In terms of columns, singular, dual, and plural. Okay, so it's the same thing, the same flow like we did in Madi, but the only difference between Madi and Mudare is when you look at Madi, Madi is known by its endings. Okay, Mudare is known by its both endings and beginnings. Okay, the beginning will tell you what person it is. Okay, it's going to tell you what person it is, and the ending is going to tell you what the number is. Basically, is it singular? Is it, so if it has a dhamma, right? You see, yaf'alu, taf'alu, most of the singular ones except for second person female, which has a ina ending, right? Other than that, the entire chart, okay, mudari chart, the singular has the dhamma ending at the end. Yaf'alu, taf'alu, af'alu. Okay, so this is, you just have to repeat it a couple of times. Okay, I hope, like, you know, I'm talking to a camera and I hope I'm getting this across effectively, but it's really simple actually. You know, you just have to repeat it multiple times. Okay, memorize it and just understand how it's flowing with the pronoun chart. Okay, again, beginning tells you what person it is, ending tells you, like ani, Musliman, you already know the dual endings, right? Which we did in nouns. Or even in Madi, we saw the alif is there, right? The alif is there in the dual. Here, the alif is there with the noon. So alif noon tells you it is dual. You look at all the, let me show you this, okay? You look at all the duals here. Look at the ending. Look at the highlighted portion. You see the ani at the end? This is dual. Ani, dual, right? Then here, ani, dual, okay? And then just for the first person, you have that exception. It is a dhamma. So how do you know? Because we know that the first person, also, the singular also has a dhamma, right? The singular, sorry, I don't know why it doesn't show up. Okay, the singular also has the dhamma, right? This one also has the dhamma. Okay, what tells you which one is singular and which one is dual or plural? The beginning will tell you that. Okay, so if it is a hamza, it's number one. Okay, and if it's first person, right? And if it is a noon, you know it's coming in the second and the third column. Okay, the noons come in the second and the third column. So the second column is dual and the third column is plural. So that is basically your mudare chart. Let me do it again. Yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, taf'alani, yaf'alna, taf'alu, taf'alani, taf'aluna, taf'alina, taf'alani, taf'alna, af'alu, naf'alu, naf'alu. You can do it too. Let me give you an example. Say for example, we did khalaqa, right? So what will be the mudare? Khalaqa, we did the chart for Madi, right? What will be the mudare of khalaqa? Khalaqa, yakhluqu, okay? So how will the chart go? Yakhluqu, yakhluqani, yakhluquna. Takhluqu, takhluqani, yakhluqna. Takhluqu, takhluqani, takhluquna, okay? Takhluqina, takhluqani, takhluqna. Akhluqu, nakhluqu, nakhluqu, right? Okay, let's try shakara. It's common, right? Shakara, we know how the Madi goes. Let's apply it on mudare. Shakara, yashkuru, yashkurani, yashkuruna. How common is it, right? Yashkuruna. Tashkuru, tashkurani, yashkurna. Tashkuru, tashkurani, tashkuruna, right? Tashkurina, tashkurani, tashkurna. Ashkuru, nashkuru, nashkuru. Now some of them may sound so off, so like you've never heard them. That's because you've never heard them. But yashkuruna sounds familiar. Tashkuruna sounds familiar. Let's take another one that's familiar to you. Alima, ya'lamu, right? Alima, ya'lamu. Ya'lamu, ya'lamani, ya'lamuna. Ta'lamu, ta'lamani, ya'lamna. Ta'lamu, ta'lamani, ta'lamuna, ta'lamuna, right? And then you have ta'lamina, ta'lamani, ta'lamna, a'lamu, inni a'lamu, a'lamu, na'lamu, na'lamu, right? Simple, easy, piece of cake. Now, inshallah, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to teach you how to go to the dictionary and figure out the mudare. Because if you've noticed, I said khalaqa, yakhluqu. Hear the sound, okay? Fa'ala was yaf'alu. Then I said khalaqa yakhluqu. Lam has a dhamma, right? And then I have, what did I do? Next one. Alima يعلم. Okay, I'm going to write it down here so you are able to follow. Okay, so I did خلق, you can see it. Okay, خلق. Okay, خلق is here. يخلق. Okay, pay attention to the dhamma there. And then you have alima, ya'lamu. Okay, and then you have, let me give you another example. Daraba, yadribu. Okay, so if you see, okay, this is what is part of the scale, mudare scale. Okay, it's a constant, the ya. Okay, yeah. So what are the roots? My roots are kha, lam, and qaf, ayn, lam, and mim, right? So dad, ra, and ba. If you look at the second root letter, this is the first, this is the second, and this is the third, right? Okay, so if you look at the second root letter, for this one, the second root letter has what? The second root letter has a dhamma, okay? And then here, the second root letter has a fatha, okay? And here, the second root letter, so 1, 2, 3, the second root letter has a kasra, okay? Why? Where did I get it from? It's simply spelling, okay? And where did I get it from? Dictionary. How did I figure it out without looking at the dictionary? Exposure. I've been exposed to it for over 7 years now. So, you know, it's about time that I memorize them. So inshallah, you will get there too. It's just about knowing where to go in the dictionary and how to read the dictionary that will tell you what the mudare is. So you see that the second root letter can have a dhamma, it can have a fatha, or it can have a kasra. Similarly, like we spoke in Madi, right? That it can be alima, it can be kabura. So the second root letter, it's pretty fluid, it's pretty flexible. It can take fatha, dhamma, and kasra, okay? How do you know whether it will be fatha, dhamma, or kasra? I'm so excited for this. I'm going to open up Hansberry Dictionary here. This device that I'm using does not have the Arabic font in it. If it had, it would have been easiest. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with the page number. Okay, so say for example, I'm going to go to page number 236. Okay, here. Okay, here you go. 236. Okay, here. So I'm going to take darasa. I'm going to take the example of darasa. It's not opening. 236. 236. Great, perfect. Okay. So now, what you have to do is, like, you just have to, on your phone or on your device, you just have to go to your settings and then you add the Arabic language, okay? You add the Saudi Arabian version, okay? That's that basically is the perfect one to go along with our studies. So you add it takes a couple of seconds, really, you know, within a minute you will be done. So it's really easy. And then, you know, what that does is that you are able to type in Arabic. The Arabic keyboard comes up. So I don't have the Arabic keyboard here. That's why I noted down the page numbers, and that's why I'm going by the page numbers, right? So if you look at your screen, I have darasa up over here. You see dal, ra, and sa, right? Dal, ra, and sa. And they have spelled it out in English also for you. Darasa, okay? You see the U next to it, okay? This U is telling you that the mudare, the second letter is going to have the U sound. So it's going to be darasa yad rusu. You just have to follow these alphabets. So if it was A, which is not the case here, so if it was darasa, and if there was a small a, lowercase a, if there was a lowercase a there, then you would have said yad rasu. So you're going to take the second root letter. Keep in mind, okay, it's the second root letter when you construct your mudare. Okay, when you construct your mudare, so darasa, I'm going to write my mudare, I'm just going to write yad, okay, yad, the first one takes a sakin, and because it's a U, I'm going to put a dhamma here, okay, yad, ru, su. Make sense? Darasa, yad, ru, su. What is in this bracket? I'm going to tell you later, but for now, just get this. Just try to figure out the mudare using the dictionary, okay? Let me take you for, let me show you another example, okay? Which is alima. Okay, how to find alima. So I'm going to go to page number 539. 539. So see, if I had the Arabic keyboard here, I would have just typed the Arabic root letters and it would have taken me straight there, right? But it is what it is. We're going to try and make the best of this, okay? 539. 539. There you go. Bismillah. The internet is a little bit slow, but it's okay. So you have alima, right? What is the meaning of alima? Ain, lam, mim. You go to that page where it shows you ain, lam, mim, all right? And then you will see in the bracket, it's not pulling up here, in the bracket for alima, like you saw for darasa, next to alima in parentheses, you're going to see a, lowercase a, right? So if you see lowercase a, how are you going to construct your mudare? It's going to be ya, okay? The second root letter, a sound meaning what? Fatha. Ya'lamu, okay? I don't know why this is not loading. Refresh. Yeah, I'm having internet issues. Okay, so alima, ya'lamu. Similarly, if you, oh, perfect. Just, it took me to the first page. 539. 539. Here you go. Bismillah. Let's see if it comes. Okay. Yes, it did. Okay. So here, yeah, look at this one. 539. Okay. Alima. Let me pull it up. And you see this? Look at this. They have pronounced the Madi for you. Can you see it? They have pronounced the Madi for you. Okay. So after the root, these are the root letters, right? After the root letter, what they do is they pronounce the Madi for you, whether it's alama or alima. How did I know it's alima, right? From the dictionary. Okay. Alima. And then you have the A. And this A is for your mudare. So I'm going to construct my mudare. I'm going to write ya. Okay. Ain has a yaf'alu, ain, the first one is going to have a sakin, okay, yeah, and then what is the harakat of my second root letter? Because it says a, I'm going to put a fatha, ya, lamu. Easy, right? Ya, lamu. Alima, ya, lamu. Okay, and let's do another one that is, so these are there in your notes actually, the practice exercises. Let's take kataba, okay? Okay, we have kataba, which is page 685. Here you go. Bismillah. Okay. Kataba. Perfect. This just came. Okay. Kataba. So you look at kataba here, right? Everybody can see it? Good. Okay. So you have they're showing you how to pronounce Madi here, kataba. They've spelled it out in English for you. So this tells you that kaf has a fatha, ta has a fatha, ba has a fatha. All right. This is Madi. What is your mudare? The mudare has a U sound. What does it mean? I'm going to construct my mudare. Okay. Here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, come on. This thing doesn't cooperate with me. Okay. There you go. It's not working now. It stopped working. Anyways, kataba. Okay. Kataba, if you construct your mudare, all right, this is how it's going to look. Should I give up? Yeah, I'm going to give up. Okay. It goes yaktubu, right? Because it has the U. So the second root letter, ta, will have a dhamma. Yaktubu, kataba, yaktubu. So this is basically how you construct your Madi and Mudare. In your packet, page number 3, there are a couple of exercises, and I've also given the link for the dictionary. That link will take you to the site where you can actually just type in the root letters if you download the Arabic keyboard, okay? And you try finding out the meanings, and I'll post the answers for you. I'll post the key for you next week, inshallah, for this one. Okay, I know some of you are asking for keys. Some people are joining now, and you're requesting keys for all the exercises that we have done so far. Inshallah, I'll try and get that to you. It shouldn't be that much of a big deal. I'll try and, so give me about like one or 2 weeks, inshallah, and we'll post an answer key for all the lessons that we have covered up to now, which is up to 19. And for this one, I will post the key before the start of the class next week, inshallah. So you should be able to check your work. Okay, I'm not going to go over it then. I want to see how you guys do it, and then you can check with yourself. You can check by yourself, looking at the looking at the key, right? So you have all the madi there, and I've asked you to construct the mudare, and you're going to construct the mudare how? By looking at the alphabet. So if it is A, you're going to put a fatha on the second root letter. Remember, it's the second root letter, nothing else, okay? It's a second root letter. If it's a I, you're going to put a kasra in the second root letter. And if it's a U, you're going to put a dhamma on the second root letter, okay? So say, for example, you have kabura, right? Kabura, yakburu. Kasura, yaksuru. How am I getting all the yaksuru and yakburu? Because when I go to my dictionary, I am going to see, number one, kaf bara, it'll be spelled out, kabura, K-A-B-U-R-A. Literally, it's spelled out. I mean, how easy can it be, right? Madi is spelled out. And the mudare, you just have to figure out like what the second root letter, not the second letter in the word. Big difference. Second root letter, right? So the root letter is different from the constants atain, right? The beginnings and the endings, the ani and the una, all of those, una, right? Una, ina, all of those are the constants of the scale, okay? The root, when you eliminate the beginning and the ending, whatever remains, you should have three, okay? You should have three. And those three will be your root letters. And the second root letter is going to take either a fatha or a dhamma or a kasra. Okay, so that's your mudare. Now, to conclude our lesson, Afreen, what's the time? Okay, all right. So, inshallah, 5 minutes, we will be done. Let's quickly do Kafirun, and that will show you. Okay, that will show you how we are applying mudare that we have learned today. So remember I told you, like when you look at a word, you have to go through certain steps, like in your brain has to be wired in order to go through certain steps. Like I've seen students like this, they look at words, right? Mushaf is open, they're looking at words and they're just looking at it. They're just staring at it. And you ask them like, what's happening? I don't know what it is. Did you do the step? Did you do the elimination? Did you go through the process? No, go through the process. Don't put yourself through that ordeal. It's hard, you know, it's like you freeze and it's normal, right? But so if you've learned so much now, right? It's time to apply. There's no reason for you to be intimidated, and it's okay to make mistakes, because when you make mistakes, you're only going to learn more, right? So you have the three words, noun, verb, particle. Once you identify it's a verb, madi or mudare, right? And you know madi is all about endings, mudare is all about beginnings and endings, right? And then you figure out, after you remove the beginning and the ending, which is the constant, you figure out what the root letters are. Once you figure out what the root letters are, it takes you to your dictionary, which is Hansware Dictionary. I don't recommend any other dictionary at this time. Hanswer. That's the dictionary. It's the best dictionary for beginners, okay? So Hansware Dictionary, you find access to that dictionary, and you know now how you're led to your madi, and then how you're led to your mudare. Simple, right? The other thing is, you know what? You've done nouns, right? You want to find the meaning of the noun, so play around with the dictionary a little bit. So there are various, under every root, you're going to find multiple paragraphs, okay? 3, 4, 5, sometimes 1, but there are going to be more. There's going to be more than one paragraph, right? The first paragraph that you see, sometimes it runs pages, right? 1, 2, 3 pages. The first paragraph is all verbs. Nothing else. It's all verbs. Second paragraph onwards, it's all nouns. Okay? I never got this when I was learning. I had to figure these things out on my own. So take these tips, apply these tips, and inshallah it'll be very easy for you. Okay? Now, let's go to our Kafirun. Okay, very easy. Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Qul, I told you you're going to learn next week. It's going to be command verbs. Okay, ya ayyuhal kafirun. It's addressing the disbelievers. Kafirun, you already know. It's a noun. Una ending, alif lam in the beginning. You can do the TGNS, right? That's basically what you do here. TGNS. Okay? So it's addressing the disbelievers. La a'budu ma ta'budun. La is negation, okay? Now, what is a'budu? What kind of a word is a'budu? You should know it now, right? A'budu, af'alu, right? It begins with a hamza. When it begins with a hamza, automatically you want to see whether it is a verb or not. I mean, like I said, hamza sometimes can be part of a spelling also, but majority of the times it is part of mudare, okay? So a'budu, okay, if I lift the veil, it sounds like af'alu. If I lift the veil, ana is sitting, abada, go to the dictionary, find the meaning, it means to worship. I worship, and la is over here, negation. I do not worship, or I will not worship. Ma is a mawsul, relative pronoun, that which, okay? Isn't it exciting? You can translate literally every word. I will not worship that which ta'budun, taf'alun, begins with a ta. Hamza, ta, right? Atain, Hamza, ta. Hamza is first person, ta is second person. So you, and the una ending tells me it's plural, okay? So I will not worship that which ta'budun, you all. So this one is antum. When you lift the veil, antum is sitting, that which you all worship, okay? Then wala antum, neither, okay, when you have la repeated like that, it's neither nor, okay? Neither antum, you all, okay? You all, neither, okay? Abiduna, what is this? Noun or verb? Abiduna. Does it look like a noun? Does it look like a verb? It is Muslimuna, it's noun, okay? So, neither will you all worship that which is a mawsul, that which a'budu, I worship, okay? Here, I will not worship, here, okay? I will not worship that which you worship. You will not worship, and you will not worship, okay? You will not worship that which I worship, okay? That which I worship. You can see it. I don't know why it gives me a hard time. A'budu, that which I worship. All right. Next again. Wala ana a'bidum ma abattum. Wala ana a'bidum ma abattum. Okay. And neither will I worship. Okay. Worship that which you all, abattum, you all worship. Okay? So abattum comes from where? Fa'altum. Ending, right? There is no atain. Hamza ta ya noon is not there. So it's not mudare. Now you look at the ending. Tum, madi. Okay? Next, wala antum abiduna, wala antum abiduna, neither, repetition, and neither will you all worship that which I worship. This is all mudare. Okay? And then the last line, lakum dinukum, for you. Lakum is what? This is, so li is jar, la is also jar. When it comes with the pronoun, attached pronoun, li becomes la. Okay? For you, okay, is idafa, your deen. Okay, deenukum, this is idafa construction. Deen is mudaf, and kum, attached pronoun, is mudaf ilayh. Remember when we wrapped up the lesson on nouns? Waliya, and liya is what? Li is for, ya is what? Me, for me. Deeni, okay? Deeni, see how I'm going to translate it. It is my deen. Here. It is my deen. Where did I get my deen? Where did I get my my from? Because deeni should have been like this. With the ya. Where is this ya? The ya has been dropped. Okay, it's understood, and it's a style of the Quran. There are more nuances in it. There are more subtle, there are certain, it serves certain rhetorical functions, but I'm not going to go into it right now, because right now we're just going to take it as a lesson on mudare, okay? And just know that deeni, in your translation, you may be like, where's the ye? Like you have Rabbi, you see the ya, right? Sometimes if you note, you will see the translation my Rabb, and the ya is missing. Why is the ya missing there? Those are layers that we need to uncover, inshallah, and we will do that as we continue in our journey, inshallah. You continue learning, you continue practicing. This is all about practice. Please make sure that you have memorized madi, that you have memorized mudare. Next week when we do the command, all this is going to serve the foundation, okay? Mudare chart is going to serve the foundation for your command verb. So if you don't have a grasp on mudare, command will be very difficult for you. Otherwise, it's going to be a breeze. And then once we finish the madi, mudare, and the amr of this this first family, if you want to call it, the mujarrad family, everything else that will come, it's going to simply plug in. So you're not going to learn anymore anything new. You're just going to learn about different forms okay, and how you plug those root letters with those additions into the base form. That's all right? So inshallah, please keep everyone in your du'as. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for me to deliver this lesson to the best of my ability. Some of you have posted questions in the comment section from the last week's class. I'm sorry I didn't get the time to respond to them, but inshallah I will before the end of today. So until next time, when we are going to start with command verbs, memorize Madi, memorize Mudare, and I'll see you next week inshallah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, salamun ala al-mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين.